Alright, here for round 2 after a very strange 1-0 win, and we have a speculative keep here. And I think I like keeping 1 land Serum Vision hands, especially when I have 2 1-mana removal spells. This hand is a little painful because obviously I have to fetch a Steam Vents untapped, so that is kind of unfortunate. But getting to look at 3 cards plus a draw step, I think, is enough to incentivize us to keep 1-lander. So I'm going to push the Spell Pierce because it may or may not be good, and I'll keep our 3rd land on top because luckily we drew an island. And then we are in Snapcaster Mage territory, which is always a good place to be. So we'll see what's going on. Well, he's got an Expedition map. It's pretty good. Okay, Bluetron. That's a little more reasonable, I think. But I think we just go upstairs with Lightning Bolt. And Bolt Snapcaster is our plan. Get this other Steam Vents out of here. Draw a Gut Shot, which is not really what we wanted, but it's fine. So, decent amount of dead cards, and I think it's worth noting that I could have Snap Serum Visioned, but I think that getting a Lightning Bolt is just better. So I'm actually going to let this resolve, I think. Just going to get like a Worm Coil or something, which I'm not too worried about. And then I'll be able to Snap Bolt him and then dismember his Treasure Mage. Yeah, so we did get the Worm Coil. Upstairs. It's an alright one, but we can't really tap out to do that when you could have a potential Worm Coil next turn, so. So he's got 1 mana floating. Hopefully he doesn't have Counterspell backup. If he does, we're just in all sorts of trouble. Need to draw a lot of Vapor Snags. Or at least 1. Yeah, so he's going to Condescend us. Could have played around exactly Condescend, I suppose. Just like maybe the Dismember line was a little too aggressive. Yeah, I think it's still Pyromancer, with the plan to block with Snapcaster and Gut Shot our own Snapcaster. And then maybe we can run that back next turn. We'll see if that works out or not. Gut Shot conveniently being remand proof. So no life gain this turn for him, but we're still in a decent amount of trouble, especially if he has a follow-up. And that's a good follow-up. That is a good follow-up. Alright, that is not going to do it. And I think our opponent convincingly wins this game. So now we actually get to sideboard, since we didn't in round 1, so that's cool. Definitely like the Blood Moons. I like some hard counter spells, and then past that, not too much. I don't mind Lightning Bolt as a way to get aggressive. So this is 60, and I guess it just works out perfectly. Like, they don't have enough artifacts to warrant something like Shatterstorm or Hurkyl's Recall. And I think everything else is pretty dead. So yeah. Yeah, that looks to be about it. Just double check, and yeah, everything looks good. So we'll see how this goes. I don't think this is the worst matchup of all time. His draw was certainly pretty good. And we're going to snap heap this one. And this is kind of weird, because I kind of want a threat, but I kind of want lands also. So Serum Visions is like, we're going to top basically whatever, except for these two, I guess. These two are both pretty bad. Snag is certainly going to be useful, but I would rather it just does not get to that point, you know? So, see what he's working with over here. Mystical Teachings. And not a ton of Tron lands. So, Delver's a good start. Basically what we need. I'll just hold on to this probe in case I draw a Pyromancer. Or need to make my third land drop. Hiya. Island? No. No, no, no. Yeah, so at this point, I think I'm just content paying life. Because I could draw a Serum Visions. Snapcaster's not the worst, but I kind of want to remand his Treasure Mage. And I like the beginning of combat Crack, because if I misclick, I might not attack. It's worth noting that he got an Urza's Tower, and I think that's the first land that people get when they don't have Tron, and particularly like don't have Urza's Tower, whereas you saw in the other game, I think he just got a Power Plant or Mine, whichever one he didn't have, which signified to me that he had the tower in his hand, so he probably should have played that on turn 2. So yeah, Delver's just getting in there. And then I'm just going to remand every single spell he plays for the rest of the game. Or at least that's the plan. See if that actually works out or not. Serum Visions, yes. Let's reveal that one. So I don't think he has any choice other than to walk into Snap Remand. So I'm just going to make it about as obvious as humanly possible. It's like, what's his option? Not cast anything? Okay, doesn't have too much instant speed interaction. So get to use all my mana this turn, which is great. I'm going to crack this right now. Get Pyromancer out there. Serum Visions. There's certainly some merit to just having 2 remands. I don't think I want this other Treasure Cruise. I think I'm fine with just the one that I have. Urza's Factory. Not too concerned with that one. So now we actually have a graveyard. Although I have a feeling that these are going to all get delved away. Yeah, see, that card is an issue. Card kills all my lovely things. But I drew a bolt, so he's dead. Kinda just want to cruise, you know, just to like cruise, but I'll just kill him instead. I don't know if he has like relics in his sideboard that he could bring in or something, but I'd rather just not show him. It is sad that we have not cruised yet, and we've played 3 games, but I'm hopeful. So I still know what he's up to. You know, I don't think the presence of Solemn or Oblivion Stone, which are relatively widespread cards in that deck really change how I sideboard or anything. I guess Spell Snare might not be the best, but it counters Remand. And I think they would want Remand and Condescend, but I'd certainly be wrong. It is possible that Snare has few targets outside of the Talismans or Signets that they normally play. I could see cutting a Snare for a Hercules, just to have something. Yeah, let's do that. I don't think it's right or good. Hercules is certainly not a card I put in my deck to side in against this deck. Other options include having just like a random pillar to get rid of his random dudes. But outside of trading with Snapcaster Mage, I'm not too worried about his 2/2s. It's very rare that Snapcaster is my only clock, and if that's the case, I'm probably losing anyway. And if I have Pyromancer or Delver, I don't really care, so I'm not going to mess with Pillar. I still like Bolt to go Snap Bolt and actually put a clock on him, but sure. Well, this hand has a Blood Moon, which makes things interesting. The old turn 1 Academy Ruins, huh? So he can't Shadow Doubt me, so that's good. I don't have to crack now. Getting a Steam Vents. And this should get an island. Should probably hold open Mana Leak. It's possible I just run a Snapcaster out there too. I'll almost certainly do that actually, if he doesn't play anything. So he did find the tower. Kind of played around Shadow Doubt last turn, but not this turn. So not the tightest, but I'm over it. Yes, condescend this. Please, thank you. I will not pay. So now if I play Blood Moon, he plays something like Solemn. It's going to get kind of awkward because I'll have a bunch of mana, which will allow him to play around Leak and Remand. So top and bottom. Not sure if that actually means anything. But at the same time, if I don't play Moon now, I'm not sure when I'm going to get to play it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to just keep playing Draw-Go, but at the same time, I don't have a ton of lands in my deck, so it's kind of tough. If I play Draw-Go, draw a land, I could play Pyromancer with a counterspell open, which would be nice. And then maybe we get to a point where we can cruise and actually have Blood Moon with counterspells, so maybe that's good. So yeah, I'll just wait for now. Like, Blood Moon doesn't completely screw him over, it just weakens him a lot. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing here. The Snapcaster's not doing a whole lot. Yes, keep countering my stuff. Counter it. Alright, fine. You're gonna regret that. Uh-oh, now what's happening? Repeal. Okay. Yeah, so Blood Moon's not even like a hard lock. Yeah, sure. Just pass again, and then... Okay. That's good for me. I was worried about him playing like Wormcoil with Counterspell mana open again, but this works out pretty well, I think. Just keep throwing Snapcasters at you. Nope, that one stuck. Gonna repeal that one? Yep, sure are. Alright. Okay. Okay. Now we got something going on here. Get that thing out there. So now I don't really want to play Snapcaster. No, this is fine. This is completely fine. I don't need to get paranoid. I don't want to counter it, and then I like remand it, he replays it, and then what am I going to do? Mana leak it, and then he's just going to drop whatever on me. Have some patience. Chat says he targeted Condescend, which is a good target by him. Means I can't play anything this turn, which I'm fine with. I'm just content to run out Snapcaster end of turn yet again. Maybe even 2 Snapcasters. We'll see. Well, he's making his land drops. Remand is fine. I would rather save my remand than try and remand my own spell. So we end up with a thing, but he's going to snap back it. I don't know what that means. That means he just has nothing going on. He just has like big stuff that he needs to save time for. So I could keep doing the same thing. I keep holding up in 2 counter spells, which is probably relevant considering he has 6 mana, and then I can just keep firing off end of turn Snapcasters, or I could play Pyromancer with a counterspell. Unless he draws exactly Tron land, I think I'm fine just running Pyromancer out, and if he draws a Tron land, I'm just in deep trouble. But if he doesn't, I get to remand his thing, draw 5th land, then I have Blood Moon. I think that'll be good. Oh no. Well. Oh, let's hope this remand is good. Oh my, that's so good for me. Okay. Now what is this? Treasure Mage, sure. Getting a Worm Coil, presumably. Mindslaver. We draw a Delver. So I'm pretty sure I need to Blood Moon him this turn. Leaves me with only 1 red, so then I can play Delver. Oh, this is so bad. Alternatively, I could snap remand him. It did work last turn. I feel like if he had a counterspell, he would have used it. So all right, we're gonna go with that plan. I have to discard, which is not actually the worst. I think it's a Snapcaster. I think I'm gonna need all these other cards. So all right, we'll do that. Which tells him I have a Snapcaster, but again, not that big of a deal. Come on, work again. Yes. We drew a land. That's awesome. 4 mana, Solemn. Sure. So I guess 9 mana. We have a Blood Moon. So I'm going to crack this to put a card in my yard. Play out this Blood Moon. And then just leave open Mana Leak, I suppose. So he can't Sundering Titan us. Can Mindslaver us. He's smart enough to play that. Echoing Truth, my Blood Moon. And that has 11 mana. Man, this guy's got a bunch of weird bounce spells. Alright, man. Alright. And that's Sundering Titan. So that's going to be an issue. It's a big game, as it were. I think it is better to bolt a creature. I really wish I could have drawn some hard counter spells. Those would have been great. So we killed my 2 mountains, which makes sense. Alright, so what are we trying to draw here? What's going on? What's the plan? I think I want to do this first. Might be better to Serum Visions first, but I also might want that Visions to set up my Delver. And I also want to play this with Mana Leak Gump in case he has a counterspell, and I don't necessarily want to play this island first. Three mana. Condescend. X is 2, so I can pay the 2. Alternatively, I can Mana Leak it, get another token. And I think that is what's up. This is kind of awkward, though, because he's going to get to Mindslaver me, and then we'll see what all the bad things he can do to me are. So we're going cruising. So he just has a Mindslaver left. So he is 1 mana off of having the lock. I could get in for 3 points. That does not seem worth it. And now I am locked. I wonder if there's anything I could have done differently this game. Or rather, game 1. He's going to Slaver me and then attack? I'm going to block. He can certainly deal me 20 damage by the time he times out. I'm gonna let him take a couple turns, let him have his fun. And I remembered that I have this box of packs because I wanted to build some Team Seal decks before Grand Prix Nashville. And then while I was waiting for that guy, I was like, man, I should have just busted some packs, so I'll just open a pack. We'll see what happens. We'll see what my opponent does to me. Alright, so we're going to squeeze it. It is a Villainous Wealth. Not super exciting. F6, sounds good. And an upside down erase. How did that happen? I don't know. Okay, well, Villainous Wealth. Not super exciting. Kind of like this. So we're going to concede. That's going to be it. And we will move on to round 3.